Hi there!
Hello!
This is Maru,
Tatiana.
and we are continuing our conversation about femininity
And success at work.
and success at work. This is video number 4, and
I'm just taking the
count. I'm still counting indeed. Is femininity related to success at work?
I think that people just try to find connections in the brain between everything.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow, even if it's not that much related, we try to connect it and we try to figure out what's the best way to be extremely feminine, to be less feminine, show it, hide it, do something about it. But as much as I understand it, your success at work, just like your success in every other part of your life, depends on how confident you are, how happy you are as a person,
yes.
And obviously if you're a woman, it should be related with your feminine part.
Definitely, yes.
Definitely.
If you embrace it, I think can be very powerful, but it's definitely something cultural that with some countries is not, as we explained before, it can be related to weakness, and then you can reject it if you culturally think is weak to be feminine.
Yeah.
So how is it in your country, in the work environment?
I think in my country, most women suffer from the idea that you have to be successful everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you have to be successful at home, you have to be successful in your private life, you have to be successful at work, and somehow one person must have like unlimited energy and maybe 26 hours per day to be successful everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's the problem, but it's also the thing that if you're feminine, you can still be successful at work. That I think the idea in Western Europe is kind of different about.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me like an impression that if you want to be successful at work, you kind of try to be man-like.
Yes, I think now talking to you, it just hits me that the idea of being successful is actually very masculine. Because, I mean, of course, we strive to be successful, but I think a woman is more the enjoyment part of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually how I feel about it. Being a woman is enjoying your life a lot, whereas being a man is kind of constant battle.
Yes.
And the other thing is, it actually like relates to the thing I told you before, that in my country, being successful as a woman, you have to be successful in every area. Whereas being successful as a man, usually it's being successful at work, that's it.
Yeah, indeed.
I don't know what it's like in Mexico, but when even in journals that are focusing on business and being success in terms of money, when they talk about a man, they would tell like how much he earns, like what houses he has. When they talk about a woman, they would also mention, is she married, does she have kids, that kind of stuff.
Indeed.
Which is not a measure of success for men somehow, although I think if you have a family and if you're happy with it, it makes you way more happy and way more successful.
Indeed, and just for the new watchers, Tati comes from Belarus. Or maybe it's the first time you watch us, but just to put it in context, Belarus, and I'm coming from Mexico. We are both living in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, so we are
trying to compare our cultures to the environment we are in right now.
Exactly. So in Mexico, it has been, well, the thing is that because of the macho culture, women have been financially very empowered, because the problem that we experience, especially in rural areas, the poverty is hitting families very hard.
Okay.
So the way that men deal with it many times is that they just go to the alcohol and then they spend all their money in alcohol, and the women are the ones that need to rescue the family. Okay. So in Mexico we have a strong mother culture. We really value moms and we respect moms. Mom is the pillar of the home.
Yeah, I actually think it's very similar to the station we had.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the women are the ones that are cleaning and taking care of the babies and working, and then you have this sort of entrepreneurial mindset because they have to survive.
Okay.
So in that sense, sometimes men are not contributing that much to that, and the measure of success is more blurry because it's about surviving.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the workplace, I see, for example, women are very successful, but I've heard from my friends in Mexico City that they have to be locas, that they have to be really dealing with men sometimes even on a screaming way, it's very passionate, so it's like if they put themselves on, not in a masculine way, but it's like this chaotic.
It's kind of being very active.
Very active, and also when you don't like something, express it and maybe scream it.
I think it's a very big difference between your culture and Eastern European one, because that's actually the thing you try to avoid as much as possible.
Okay.
Because if you're screaming, you're
you
hysterical.
lose control.
You're hysterical.
Yes.
Nobody takes you seriously at workplace.
True.
Whereas sometimes you can see men doing the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of powerful. They kind of express themselves. So, being a woman in Eastern Europe, you would try to be as calm as possible and as rational as possible, which is usually not a very female thing, but that's the quality you need to have to be successful in business world, in my country at least.
And it's the same in the Netherlands, I believe. I had this conversation with a friend of mine. She's a very successful entrepreneur, and then she says, what you say, if you want to be taken serious in this masculine business world, you need to stay calm.
Yeah.
And you need to express what you don't like, but a calm way. Never lose your control, because if you start screaming, you are kind of hysterical, neurotic, and then men.
Yes, it can just reject everything you say.
Yes.
She is not logical. Also, sometimes they might be less logical than you, but somehow, since it's like men kind of environment, you have to be more male than them.
In order for them to listen.
Yeah.
That's definitely not the case in Mexico, because I have seen my people close to me solving issues and expressing themselves with feminine energy, like and then it works there. For a certain reason, it works, still works. I mean, I'm not saying everybody, but the cultural context plays a big role.
Also, there are some ways to have influence on men from female side. Also, when they're being hysterical, you being a woman and being very calm would just go and tell him, like, can you be more respectful since I'm a woman? Can you just express yourself in a proper way, not using the words I don't like? So that kind of helps sometimes.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it's like the solution for any situation in business, but I've seen it happening a lot. So that's a good way to use your femininity.
Definitely. But it is double. In one way, it's a very feminine way to stay calm and soft. But on the other way, the rational, the logical is a masculine energy. So
yeah, but it's not only in society we combine masculine and feminine. It's the same in every person.
yes,
Just as you want to be sometimes logical and sometimes soft and feminine, that's actually the case with your husband, I believe. Sometimes you want him to be caring and loving. So expressing some feminine, traditionally feminine character traits. But yeah,
we have both indeed. Now, this is fascinating, and you mentioned also the word respect.
yeah.
So that is also, I've read in a course, internet course, that the difference between masculine and feminine energy is that masculine longs to be respected and feminine longs to be loved. And therefore, men prefer to be respected. If they have to choose, there been this interview in the United States.
Yeah.
They ask 500 men, if you would have to choose between being respected or being loved, what would you choose? And they were shocked, because for them, respect means love. So they said respect. Whether a woman, they asked the same question and they went directly for loved.
Yeah, but for me, love without respect doesn't have any value to it.
What is respect? What does respect mean for you?
Just having the idea that you as a person are valuable enough, and I think that having an idea that you can be yourself, and this is the way we also enjoy you to have around.
What is the best way to show respect?
To not intrude in my business, maybe. That's a hard question, actually.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, because...
What would you tell? What's your idea?
Well, for me, to be honest, the concept of respect, I was not very familiar with it until I came to Europe, because in Mexico we have more a family relationship, and then, for example, what could be considered disrespectful in the Netherlands, and probably what you mentioned about in Belarus, you mind your own business. In Mexico, that is not respectful.
Yeah, but if you talk about family setting, like if your father made his decision, would you tell him that he's not right?
No, I would not tell him you are not right.
Isn't it respect?
But I would try to, I still do it, I would try to persuade him or to let him know on a feminine way, with love, with softness, that I don't agree.
Yeah, but that's still respectful to me. But when you hear an idea from someone, say, no, that's not right, and you don't even try to convince the person, you don't even give the reasoning, you kind of, no, that's not important. That's lack of respect.
Yeah, that's that's even rude indeed. Yeah.
So
yes.
it's basically the opposite, not from only being rude, but from being ignorant.
Yes, and not patient, and because that was one of the questions that there's a gorgeous lady we was introduced to you, Svetlana. She's from Russia, and we want to invite her to give a training in the Netherlands about femininity. We will talk about her later, but we have been in touch with her, and she has a career of coaching women and really saving marriages and empowering women on their feminine side. And some weeks ago we had a Skype conversation with her, and we asked her, what does it take for women to take the respect of men?
Yeah.
Because I talking to my Dutch friends and people in the Netherlands, they really long to be respected by men, to be seen, to be acknowledged, that we are capable, that we can do it. And her answer was quite surprising, actually. Very short, but very concise. Remember what she told?
She said, if a Queen of England is here and there is like a cleaner coming around, do you think she longs for respect from him?
Exactly. Exactly. Do you know the Queen of England needs respect from anybody? And we stay like, but it's true, it's just, why longing if you are in your power and you are satisfied?
Maybe it's a problem of self-esteem as well.
Yes.
Because if you respect yourself, you kind of don't really worry that much about other people.
Indeed.
You know what you're worth.
Yes.
But if you have some issues with it, you still need people around you to tell you, yeah, you're a good one. You do it well.
This confirmation.
Yeah, you're successful. That kind of keeps you on the level of a baby.
Yes. And maybe that's the origin of feminism in a way, because they want to be acknowledged and respected, like validated from men. But that's also a very woman thing to do, because apparently men need it less. So they go out there, they go to their job, they do their thing, and they don't need that acknowledgement so much. I mean, of course, I'm not trying to generalize, but if women go out there in the work field and they do their thing, and they expect men to acknowledge them, and they think maybe that the only way men would acknowledge them is behaving like them.
I don't know, it's hard to tell, actually. I see lots of men around me that are so grateful for any acknowledgement of their success. So maybe it's just like general human thing to do, but maybe since women are more sensitive in this way, more emotional about this, maybe that's why we talk about it that much.
More, yeah, true. Because
I see guys with problems that they have for a long time, but they don't tend to discuss.
Yeah.
Especially between guys. Like I had many experiences talking to my colleagues about like relationship, about any issues at work, about anything, and ask him, did you talk to someone about it? Did you try to solve it somehow? No. Especially when it's like male to male thing, you kind of sometimes even need to push them to talk about it.
True. Yeah, because men are raised also like you should be strong and you should repress your emotions, and while women,
that's the problem. They just kind of have it all inside.
yes,
Not being able to express it, maybe suffer even more.
yeah, that's true. That's true, and something that we're forgetting, and you know, both need empowerment. Men and women, we both need empowerment.
Yeah.
But it's, I believe that if a woman stays more in her energy, and what you did, you know, you're a great example for that. You just caring about your colleagues and listening to them from soft and being feminine and being beautiful, that you can add so much color to the lives of people around you, you know, and we still can be very successful in our results for doing it our own way.
Yeah, that's actually true. So I think there is no like one pattern that every woman or every man should follow.
Yes.
It's more about finding where you're more comfortable.
Yes.
And what you enjoy more. So just
follow yourself, follow your heart.
cheesy.
I am cheesy. But yes, it's like fashion. In the end, we have a saying in Mexico: just wear what it fits you.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, well, what would be your recommendation for expats and entering the workspace in the Netherlands?
I haven't done it myself yet, but
What would you do?
From the experience I got just looking around and from listening to other people, I noticed that in a work environment, Dutch women try to be less feminine, even in the way they look.
Yes, agree. Yeah.
So I heard that they don't wear makeup in the office mostly.
No, mascara, yes, always.
Okay, which would be maybe even a no-no in Eastern Europe, because you wouldn't have like party makeup on, but you would have some foundation,
Yes.
just to look nice and healthy. It's kind of part of your office look. So try to be more natural with your makeup if you tend to go crazy with
Don't
it.
arrive with a super makeup, so
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Try to keep your skirt long enough.
Yes.
If you're wearing skirts, don't be surprised that everybody around is wearing jeans.
yes, it happened to me. Yeah.
And yeah, just try to be relaxed and
I have a couple of suggestions. Of course, the looks are important. There's a special look of what is to be formal here. I would say be yourself, don't change, but still adapt a little bit to the culture here. So not extreme makeup, but if you like it, enjoy it, do it. Indeed, not too much of a décolleté because it's perceived as not professional. So better.
I think it's in most of the countries it would be perceived not professional, but the deepness varies from culture to culture, so try to be more covered.
More covered, yeah, that for sure. High heels, it's perceived as not comfortable here, but yeah, I think there's not such a big problem with high heels. And in the business life, just enjoy. I think Dutch people enjoy humor and making fun with each other, and as long as you are having fun with your colleagues and smiling and adding a nice atmosphere, then we appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Very much. And
that's a
just
very
enjoy
good advice
yourself.
for any part of your life, actually.
True, but I realized, especially Dutch culture, I mean, that's my personal experience, that there's like an ice, and then with humor, the ice gets quicker broken.
Yeah.
And they really enjoy it, and it's actually a way for them to take you serious. And yeah, I don't know, it changed. It is like somebody you don't know, and then as soon as you make a contact with fun, then they see you different.
Yeah.
It's a magical thing I discovered for myself, so try it out, maybe it works. And be feminine.
And let us know about your experiences.
please, if you have more tips for expats coming here.
Or if you can share your struggles, maybe
Also,
someone is going to help you in the comments, so we might just give you a piece of advice.
Yes, and what we are going to do is in the next videos, we want to ask you questions. So if you have questions about femininity and the workplace or even relationships, we are gathering these questions and send them to Svetlana and see what she says, and we will introduce her very soon.
Yeah.
And well, thank
See
you
you
so
soon.
much.
Bye. Bye.